Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Wa ala ali wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be on all of you. The topic of today's talk is Quran, the impact on humanity. What the Quran has mentioned, and through the verses of the Quran, what the Muslims has implemented in our daily life. It is a very long series and a very important series that we are doing. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Az-Zumur, chapter 39, verse number 71, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that on the day of judgment, the unbelievers, the disbelievers, they will be driven into the hellfire in groups. And when they arrive, its gate will be open. Allah also mentioned in Surah Az-Zumur, chapter 39, verse number 73, that and the believers, they will be arriving in groups into Jannah, and when they arrive, its gate is open. There is a slight change on the gate when people arrive on the gate. One verse of the disbelievers going to hellfire, it says that its gate will be open. But when it comes to Jannah, in Surah Az-Zumur chapter 39, verse number 73, it says that its gate is open. This is very important verses that is mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago. In the early 8th centuries, there was a man, his name is Jabir ibn Hayyan. Jabir ibn Hayyan make a strange statement in the early 8th centuries. He said that if anyone want to invent, if you want to be a good inventor, or if you want to invent anything new, this is what he said. If you want to invent anything new, which has never been existed in the world, open the Quran. Go to the verses that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the day of judgment. Along with that, any statement you find, it has to be possibly invented and is a new thing. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always mentioned about the day of judgment along with something which is very important. And in history, the Muslims, they use the day of judgment verses connect to the day of judgment to invent camera. They use verses connect to the day of judgment to invent many things. And today even a non-Muslims, when they invent something, we go and look the Quran, for example, about the fingerprinting. It's all about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, what will happen the day of judgment, or more specific in Jannah or Jahannam. So what Jabir ibn Hayyan said, even though not Muslims has invented many things, but many things that has been invented later has fulfilled his statement, because it is very inside statement. Even today, It is a very important statement that can be applied. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Araf, chapter 7, verse number 62, Allah says that the Quran is a letter. It is a letter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to mankind. And I give this example many times, and it's very important that whenever anyone want to write a letter to any individual, that person try to address that individual personally. If you want to write any letter to anyone, you try to address that individual personally, whether that person is a male or female, an adult or a child, depending whether is a king or a layman like me. Depending the personality, you will address that individual personally. So whenever any verse of the Quran is mentioned to anyone, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is a letter to mankind. Similarly, if the Quran reach you, depending upon your academic background, your profession, if you take the Quran, you read it, you will understand it, it will speak to you direct, depending upon your background of education. In the early 13th centuries, these two verses that I have quoted earlier, Surah to Az-Zumur chapter 39 verse number 71 and Surah to Az-Zumur chapter 39 verse number 73, where both sides is telling about the unbelievers going to hellfire and the disbelievers and the believers going to Jannah, paradise, and both will go in group. But when the unbelievers reach the gate will be open. But when the believers reach the gate of Jannah, paradise, the gate is open. So this verse of the Quran triggered some ideas, brought some ideas into the mind of Ismail al-Jazari. He was muazzin in the masjid, so he spends most of his time in reading the Quran and doing research in his laboratory. And he said, he called his students and he asked them about these verses of the Quran. He has already thought about what to do about this verse of the Quran, but he put a question to his students and he asked them that, what do they think about this verse of the Quran? What comment will they give about it? And all of them give their comment, but 90% of their comment was all about good deed and bad deed. If you do good, you go to Jannah. If you do bad, you go to Jahannam. That is hell and paradise, which is normal to everyone. And as a layman, if you read these verses, this is what you think, because it says that the unbelievers will go to hell and the believers will go to paradise. This is normal to everyone. But Ismail al-Jazari in the early 13th century has different understanding of this verse. This verse of the Quran give him some kind of idea that he was the first human being ever invented the first hydraulic power automatic gate operators, and he also created many automatic doors. So in the early 13th centuries, where no one has idea of inventing a door which is automatic or a gate, Jabir ibn Hayyan read the Quran and have that idea that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the keepers of the hell and heaven, Allah did not mention about they open the gate, which means the gate has to open automatically. So when the Quran reach you, depending your academic background, depending upon the knowledge you acquire or your profession, the Quran will speak to you direct. And Allah says in the Quran, in no less than 3 different places. In Surah Tawbah chapter 9 verse number 33, and Surah Fatah chapter 48 verse number 28, as well as Surah Saf chapter 61 verse number 9. Allah says that هو الذي أرسله رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق. It is Allah who has sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth. My name is Abdulmalik. Our platform that we do this series, the Quran, the impact on humanity. If you go to YouTube, it is Islamic Youth Foundation. Facebook, it is Islamic Youth Foundation. Like, subscribe, and share. We have our Facebook group, Islamic Youth Foundation group. You can also join our Facebook group. We also have WhatsApp and Telegram. It is group chat, and our number is +39 35 11 91 6675. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilayhi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.